Have you ever been in a situation where you've genuinely wanted to help people, but yet, like, you find yourself coming against the wall, receiving backlash, being kind of like damaged through that, despite all your best efforts, good intentions, well wishes for the other person? It just never seems to land well, and even if it does, it's very short lived, because what tends to happen is, unfortunately, human nature tends to take things for granted. So then, like, there's this sense of entitlement from other people when you do choose to extend yourself towards them in a way to help or just be there for them in some way. Because I've been through something recently. Well, it's been going on for a long time with someone very close to me, where I actually truly wanted nothing more than to extend a compassionate heart and hand towards them, especially when other people had rejected and abandoned them, because I chose to believe that they had made certain changes, right? And that I could potentially be there for them, when no one else was. And many years later now, looking at kind of the culmination of everything from that starting point till now, has brought me to the realization that sometimes you just have to let people deal with the consequences of their lives, their choices, the things that they've done. Because sometimes we want to rush in and just save people from themselves, right? We want to try to soften the impact for them, as a way to just show them that someone cares, that someone's there for them. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, do that type of thing for other people. But I think now, now that I've gained this new experience, right, and it's really opened my eyes, I've discovered that it's a very fine line, right, between helping people and enabling them, to kind of keep doing the same thing, despite, like, for instance, I was in the frame of mind that I'm actually just truly just wanting to help out, right? Like, I'm not thinking anything beyond that, right? It's a very pure kind of thing that I was doing. However, I realized that it was kind of the fuel, right, for an increased level of toxicity, for me being the person who gets blamed for everything when something goes wrong, me being like the shock absorber, for the chaos that goes on in that person's life, right? All because I wanted to step into a role which nobody else wanted to do. Again, just to help, right? Not knowing that I was putting myself in the line of fire, right? And I'm speaking like of a very recent experience which has left me to some degree quite traumatized, to be honest, right? I'm trying to now, like, I'm pulling back from this role of being a helper, and I'm like re-examining everything for what it is, not what I want it to be, right? Taking I'm trying to take away, like, the lessons from all of this, and it's been difficult, right? Because there's like so many layers of this, like, of, I don't know, intensity, of just, yeah, it's very multifaceted, right? Like you can't just attack this thing from one angle, right? And also, I have a very long history with this particular person, right? A very close uh, relationship with them, right? And I almost feel like I woke up and I'm in the twilight zone. Like I don't even recognize my life. You know, like I'm like, really? Like this is what's come out of all of this? Like my very simple kind of, yeah, I'm gonna help this person, turned into something that I could have never imagined it to be, you know? And I kind of woke up from this. I don't know if it was a delusion of mine. Maybe I was in delusion, right? And then I start questioning now, like you see the layers and the complexities of this, because now I'm questioning my my discernment. Like, am I really, is my radar that off now? Like, do I not see the signs? Am I not able to read them properly? Like, I'm also trying to understand the level of damage it's done to me, you know, psychologically, you know, emotionally, spiritually. And it's been a lot, right? And again, all because I really believed, like wholeheartedly, you couldn't make me believe otherwise, that I was actually doing the right and proper thing by being there, by showing up, by just being a presence, you know, when this person wouldn't have had one, like of someone that really cares and loves them. And like I'm not trying to say that like I did everything perfectly at all, but I I can say that I tried my very best. And now I've arrived at a point where like I can no longer give anymore because my best has already been depleted. Like I have nothing more to give. I have nothing more to fight for in this situation. I have nothing more to extend because I know and I see the amount of devastation and damage it's done to me, right? And now looking at that person, seeing that like they may have tried to change. Like they truly may have made some efforts on their part, but like not enough, right? Like what I'm doing is not enough and what they're doing is not enough. So there's this gap between us, like this chasm, right? Like I'm on one side of of you know of the mountain peak and they're on the complete other side. And we can't bridge this gap between us. Like we're so distant because like it seems like we're both kind of falling short in what we're trying to accomplish here. And and it's very like troubling. It hurts, it's sad. It's just it's a lot, right? It's very heavy. And and I don't know, like does this mean like I shouldn't even try really to extend myself in this way anymore ever again with anyone? Like or like how am I now I'm left with all these questions and thoughts. I'm like, so going forward, do I just guard my heart completely and give very limited access to my you know, to my heart and mind and my life? Or was this just the wrong person to do it with? Like, I don't know. It opens up a whole bunch of questions and things that like I don't think I'll ever get the answer for, truly, because this is just so complex, right? And maybe it's very simple. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But at the same time, you know, when things do happen to me or when I've been involved in very high intensity type situations, right, that have taken a serious toll on me, I do like to look at kind of what happened. Where did it go wrong? How can I prevent it from happening again? What can I do to, you know, just figure out what am I supposed to be taking away from this? Because I truly feel like, all the things that we've been through, the pain, the suffering, like you need to walk away with it somehow to help you, going forward. And I'm kind of stuck right now, I'll be honest. I'm still trying to understand, like, also there's the other part of me that wants to understand, like, why is someone like this? Like, why are they behaving in such a way? Right? But then I guess that is a complete lost cause, because many times people don't even know, like, themselves enough to even tell you, right? They don't have that awareness, that reflection. They just never bother to go that far and deep within themselves. And that's why I always tell people, please do the inner work, figure out who you are, right? Like, get to those traumas and wounds that are inside of you that have not been reconciled, that haven't been smoothed over, right? Like, you got to deal with that stuff. And because otherwise you're going to end up bleeding all over the place on everybody. It doesn't matter how much they want to help you or love you. You're not going to be able to receive it properly, right? Because you're coming from a very shattered place. And again, I don't think we can ever be fully healed on this earth, because things always kind of come up, but you can definitely work on it to have it at least more healed than not, right? Some people, unfortunately, even with age, they don't do the work, right? So then you think, oh, well, this person's like so old, like they should know better. No, that doesn't work that way. Don't make those assumptions at all, because the inner work requires work. That's what it is. It's inner work. You have to put in the time, the effort, the energy. You got to figure out yourself. You got to go back to childhood. You got to figure out your intergenerational traumas, what's been taking place. It's a lot, right? It's not an overnight success story. It's something you do consistently, right? And many people don't see the value in that, right? They think, oh, well, I had a pretty good childhood. Yeah, this and that. And they don't realize that their life is full of patterns and habits and behaviors and mindset, that comes from somewhere, right? And I don't know. It's many times I feel very, very alone when I kind of go off on this type of topic, because, and I think women more pay attention to this kind of inner work thing than men do. I think men are more preoccupied with being providers and just financially taking care of things, but like, and men have been also taught in society to disconnect from their emotions. Like, otherwise you're considered like a sissy or feminine, meanwhile, like, we all have emotions. And I heard something very interesting from someone that said, like, men are highly emotional, and that's why sometimes you see them they express that, all that bottled up. If they don't sort through those emotions, they become very angry, spiteful people, right? And then that's why they get physically violent, things like that, because that's all from emotions, right, that haven't been properly dealt with. And that is the manifestation of what it is, right? Because you haven't sorted through all that clutter yet, right? You haven't gone through it and said, well, this doesn't serve me, okay, I can correct this. Like, you got to take an inventory of your state, right? And every level, like emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, right? And it's a work in progress, right? And some people don't even want to start to take the first step. So I don't really have a solution, to be honest, to any of this. Just sharing real time what's happening around me, within me, and I don't know, like, it's sort of, Like I feel like a voice in the wilderness, you know, and when you try sometimes to speak to people, right, about something, right, that may be very personal to them, it just becomes like sometimes it becomes this full-blown problem, right? And they see it as an attack on them. And sometimes like, well, with this particular one person that I've known for a very long time, who I'm kind of going through a lot of stuff with and have been for many, many years, I can't even talk to this person properly because when I do, it just becomes this whole eruption, right, of things, of unpredictability, right? Like I try to share, you know, my honest heart, and it's just not well received. It's not a safe space to do that. So I don't even want to bother, and that's why that's why we're standing on two opposite sides of the field, right? Because we just can't seem to make it work, right? So I have to withdraw from my role as someone who cares, right? I'm going to have to step away from that and just allow that person to just deal with whatever they've done in their life, right? And me, I have to just be like, I did my best. I have a clear conscience. I don't have to think now, well, what if I had done this, or what if I had reached out, and what if I, no, I have closure now, right? But it was a very hard-earned experience, you know, to come to this point. Uh, I really don't want all this to have gone, you know, to nothing. You know, I want it to at least be something that I can learn from and then bring it to people as well, right? To try to see if they can relate, or maybe they'll encounter something that's waiting for them around the corner that's similar, right? Well, you never know. That's the unpredictability of life and the uncertainty. We just don't know what we're going to face in the next minute. So just sharing my heart, my mind, you know, like I said, I don't really have the answers. I'm kind of trying to figure it out as I go. But I've been in a very heavy season, I would say, for the last while. It's been just, I don't know, just spiritual attacks and just everything. It's been a lot, like a lot. Like I found myself crying more than at times than I can count in such a short period of time, because it just feels like I'm being crushed from like every angle, and I don't really feel like I have, well, except for the Lord, right? I don't really feel like I have, well, I guess he's all I need, right? I mean, but it's a very lonely place to be, I'll be honest, right? So I don't know, I'm trying to be hopeful. We'll see what happens, but like that's kind of where I'm at right now. So anyway, until next time, God bless and amen.